Hey everybody, welcome back to another Star Wars Squadrons video with your host, Capt'nNam. Welcome to my channel. Hopefully everyone's having a great day so far. I'm having a great day because it's Friday, yes. And almost the release of the game Star Wars Squadrons in about 2 weeks. I am super excited for this game. 2 weeks left. We're going to discuss something today that I think is going to be super relevant for the game. Today we're going to be talking about the meta of the game. Like any competitive game that you see today in this market, like Overwatch, League of Legends, and all those other games, they have a specific style. You have to have certain characters in order to win the game. In order to rank up in the competitive scene, you must have these essential characters. Before we start the video, thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. If I made you smile, if I made you laugh, if you're my friend and I forced you to watch this video, please do subscribe. I want to grow this channel with you guys. The viewership on the last few videos was amazing. However, the subscriptions need to go up. I am begging you, please, or I'll drink some blue milk like Luke Skywalker and have some nice refreshments. Yeah, that was a little weird. I couldn't think of anything, so. Moving on. In my videos before, I discussed how this game is going to last. It's going to be around for a long time, and especially towards the competitive gaming scene. If you haven't checked out my videos on 5 reasons why I think this game will last, go check out that video. I did a lot of research while doing that video. Today, we're going to be talking about something completely different, which is the competitive meta. Like they said in the trailer videos, there's things that will happen when it comes down to their signature mode, Fleet Battle. Now in Fleet Battles, you have the opportunity to talk to your members of your squadron to get a real strategy going and to select your ships along with all the components. However, in my opinion, I believe to have a successful team that will defeat the other enemy, in order to succeed, you will need specific ships in your lineup at different stages of the game. You have 3 phases. In the trailer video, they actually mention these 3 phases. 1 is the early game, which is the dogfight. Number 2 is the mid game with the medium-sized capital ships. And number 3, the end game, the huge capital ship in which you will need to destroy the subsystems of that ship, such as the shields, comms tower, all that other good stuff, in order to defeat the capital ship. Now I'm going to break it down on what ships you need to choose for each of these 3 phases of the fleet battles, okay? Alright, number 1, the early game, dogfights. What's really going to happen here in the dogfights, whenever a teammate dies or an enemy dies, you are weakly hindered. 5 players. Imagine if 1 player dies. That means you have 1 less person to guard you. So that means you need speed and you also need consistent firepower. Now the key word is consistent. That's why I think in the beginning of the game, you're not going to see a lot of bombers. The reason why is because bombers are very slow. They're not as agile as starfighters. That's why, in my opinion, no bombers early game. I believe that you're going to see 4 starfighter pilots with 1 support ship. Now, whether that's the New Republic or the Empire, you're going to see, again, 4 starfighters with 1 support ship. Now, for the 4 ships for the fighters, for the New Republic, you can see a combination of X-Wings and A-Wings. X-Wings are going to be more universally chosen because they're the favorites, but also they are for the average general player. Now the last ship in your roster out of the 5 is your support ship. It's either your U-Wing for the New Republic. That U-Wing is there, it's crucial. Every good team in the competitive scene needs a support. That support ship is going to be flying around to protect the other 4. While vice versa, those 4 other starfighter pilots are going to protect that support ship. Now for the Empire, you're going to see a combination of those 4 ships between the TIE Fighter and the Interceptor, along with your support ship with the TIE Reaper in the dogfight stage. In the stage, it's really important to gain the advantage, to push the enemy line. Now imagine if you have a bomber in this stage. The bombers are so slow. They're going to be the targets of the ship. Once you lose your bomber, if you have the bomber in this stage, it's essentially game over. They're slow, they won't be able to dish out damage because you can outmaneuver them, but when they do attack, the starfighter pilots have the ability to outmaneuver the bomber's attacks. They will be high targets. You will not see a bomber. If you see a bomber, this is where you go to your team and be like, hey yo Doug, you gotta switch. At least for now. As well, if you take a look at the map of the whole entire area, the dogfights happen on the part of the map where the map is open. The openness of the map, where you can't hide behind objects, create huge barriers for slower ships. That's why I believe you're going to see 4 X-Wings, 4 A-Wings, 4 TIE Fighter pilots, or 4 TIE Interceptors, along with 1 support ship, either a U-Wing or either your TIE Reaper. So those 4 Starfighter pilots, you're going to see, they're going to outmaneuver your opponent, they're going to provide that consistent damage, and they're going to have enough speed to rejoin the map since it is in the middle of the map. Now we're going to be moving on to phase 2, the mid game, where you're going to have to defeat 2 medium-sized capital ships. So in my opinion, you're going to see 2 fighter pilots, 2 support ships, and 1 bomber. You need the starfighters to fend away the enemy from your bomber. Your bomber is the key character in order to take down these medium-sized capital ships. Along with your supports, the support can aid one another, the supports can support each other, but also defend the bomber. You have to defend the bomber at all costs in this stage. This is a crucial aspect of the game. If you do not have these supports, these 2 supports, and not many people are going to be willing to play those supports, but you need 2 of them. And for 1, the supports are going to support each other. Number 2, they're going to provide that healing and shield boost for the bombers. Regardless, your bomber is tanky. However, imagine this. If you look at the map, the bomber is already slow. If you lose your bomber during this stage, that bomber is going to have to travel from your base to the enemy base past the midpoint line. Bombers are already slow. If you lose your bomber during this stage, essentially you're going to be giving up that objective. You're going to wait for your bomber to respawn, travel past the midpoint line to the medium-sized ships, and now you're going to have to defend and attack all over again. That is going to cause a time delay. The fighters are going to be distracting the other enemy team and then falling back to those support ships to get those heals and shields. Hey, that rhymed. Now think about it. The enemy in distance is going to respawn at a faster rate and get back onto the battlefield at a faster rate. So you don't need to respawn and then travel that whole entire distance back and get back into the battle. Your support ships are really crucial. That's why in the mid game, 2 support ships, 2 starfighter pilots, and 1 bomber. Take down 1 medium-sized capital ship at a time, move on to the next afterwards. Now this is where it gets interesting. It is the late game where you are battling the subsystems of the huge capital ship that you're going to need to bring down in order to finish and win the game. GG, folks. From this capital ship, you're going to have turrets pointing at you. You're going to also have a really quick respawn rate for your enemies as well. You're going to see the players switch positions now in order to deal out that heavy damage to take down that huge capital ship. You're going to see 2 supports to support everybody, 2 bombers to provide that damage, but also they can withstand the damage from the capital ship. And last, you're going to either see a starfighter pilot, either if you're New Republic, an A-Wing or an X-Wing, or if you're an Empire, the Interceptor or the TIE Fighter. Now everybody starting out is going to want to play the fighter, but in every team you know that the tanks and the supports are crucial aspects in order to win the game. If you want to rank up in the ELO ladder, you must have the appropriate ships or characters for the appropriate stage. The 2 fighter pilots must decide between themselves who is the better pilot, and they can see that through their kill counts, and then they can decide who is staying on the battlefield, who is switching to the next bomber. That starfighter pilot must be the Poe Dameron of your squad. The Poe Dameron. The fighter needs to be quick, agile, and be annoying as heck. The fighter pilot needs to draw away enemy starcraft, but also be annoying, draw away the turrets for your support ships and for your bombers. Now, it's okay if the fighter pilot dies, because the tanks and the supports are mildly tanky. They can sustain the damage from the huge capital ship. Until the fighter pilot comes back, they can regroup and then they can keep on taking on objective. Alright, so I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section below if I was right on any of these things, if you agree with me, if you think this game is going to last. Let me know in the comment section below, right over here. If you haven't already, please do, please, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. I'm a teacher right now, so everything with COVID-19 and getting back to school is a little bit hectic. So I'm going to commit to you guys 2 videos a week. You might see a little bit more, like the Mandalorian trailer. It just popped up and I was like, oh my god, I gotta make a video about this. Maybe it could be in Squadrons someday in the future. Alright, peace. This is Capt'nNam signing out.